Good evening, folks. As I promised, excuse me, we are talking about Ohio State. This segment here is about the Ohio State quarterback room. I mean, who will be Ohio State's quarterback this year? With the surprising transfer of Kyle McCord to Syracuse, that was a shocker to a lot of us. Some of us wasn't, but most of us it was. Probably about 80% of us was shocked that he transferred. About 20% it wasn't. I myself was one of the few that was shocked that he transferred because I can almost guarantee he was starter next year. That he'd probably be the starter this year, meaning. But you also had these other quarterbacks coming in. But then you have the transfer out of Kansas State, Will Howard. And then you have the transfer out of Alabama, Julian Sain, who had impressive numbers in high school. I mean, he put up ginormous numbers in high school. I mean, so really good, impressive numbers. I mean, and Will Howard, for instance, I mean, I can't say that he didn't put up any bad numbers either. I mean, at Kansas State, he put up pretty good numbers. In his final year, will be at Ohio State. He finishes out his career at Ohio State. I mean, I can't say I'm disappointed at him at Kansas State. I'm surprised he didn't stay at Kansas State to finish out his career, but he put up some good numbers at Kansas State. Aaron Nolan, the recruit coming out of Georgia, he looks pretty good. He's turned on some good views. We'll talk more about that when it comes around, about how they actually look and who turns you on, who turns me on more and who isn't. But Lincoln Kienholz, another one. He put some impressive numbers out there, but the offense is what scared me with Lincoln Kienholz. He was put into a position where he was in a position where he was not expecting to be in because, yeah, he's a backup. But the question is, which one of these quarterbacks will transfer? Now, and then you got Devin Brown, who's pretty much like a junior this year, I believe. I mean, after this year is out, Will Howard will be gone. And then you got Devin Brown, who comes back another year. Devin Brown pretty much will put this out there. Anyone who transfers is a coward. You transfer, you're a coward. You don't like competing. In other words, they don't like competing. And I like his idea. Now, why did Kyle McCord transferred? I don't know. I mean, I really never really paid much attention to those reasons, but forget the NIL. I could care less about the NIL. It's not about, for me, it's more about playing time. But with all these 5-star quarterbacks coming in and Lincoln Kienholz right in there, I see one of them transferring if they don't win the position. It's not that they don't want to play at Ohio State. It's that they want to actually play. And I don't blame them. I mean, I'd like to get some playing time if I was one of them. Now, who do you think would be the first one to go? Probably one of them that's already there. And that's already had playing time. Now, most likely, that would be Lincoln Kienholz. Devin Brown pretty much stated already that he's not leaving. He will not be leaving anytime soon. He pretty much made it perfectly clear. I am not going anywhere. I'm here to compete, and I'm not here to back down. He pretty much made that perfectly clear. Now, most likely, Mr. 33, is what everybody calls him. That is Devin Brown. He will probably, if he ever had it his way, he would probably be the starter, which he was the starter against Missouri for a little bit until he re-hurt his ankle again. And then that's when Lincoln Kienholz came in and pretty much was dominant. Now, he passed for 111 yards as a quarterback in the game. 111 total yards all the way around in his career at Ohio State. Now, who knows if he'll be the starter? I doubt it. I doubt he'll become to full potential. Now, who will be there? Devin Brown most likely will be like the high top priority. But where does that put But where does that put the others? Julian Sayin, who transferred from Alabama after Nick Saban retired. That's when he decided to jump ship and transfer to Ohio State. He thought he's had other plans at Ohio State, and sure enough, it looks like it's going to be a good one. Then you had the Dylan Raiola idea, who was in Arizona, then he transferred to a school in Georgia, and then he went to Ohio. He was committed to Ohio State, but then decommitted and was kind of committed to Georgia, but then he quickly flipped his commitment to Nebraska. So he might be a decent quarterback to put up with. Now, who knows? Anything's possible with this guy. Now, who knows? Now, next year's commitment, St. Clair, he'll be an interesting one to look at. But Aaron Nolan made it perfectly clear that he's going to come and play for the Buckeyes, number 12. Number 12, St. Clair. Number 10, Julian Sayin. He might be a one to look out for. Because they're pretty much saying he might be the starter. So he might be a good one to look out at. Now, Kyle McCord, he threw for over 3,000 yards, which is pretty impressive for a starter, for a first-year starter. Now, McCord will finish out his career at Syracuse, so good luck for that. Now, as of the rest of the duty, guys, I see him finish. I see Devin Brown maybe sticking around. I see him sticking around and maybe out of Ohio State. Now, Lincoln Kienholz, they talked about, rumors been going around that he might transfer to Iowa. Now, if he does, great. Good luck to you. I wish you the best of luck. But now the question is, how long does he plan on sticking it out there? But does he plan on going to Iowa? I mean, there's other places out there. I mean, his real home is South Dakota. He could easily transfer to South Dakota State, where they're actually looking for a decent quarterback. And the quarterbacks they got there are like subpar. But the quarterback room they have at out there, I mean, Cade McNamara, the transfer out of Michigan, is the quarterback at Iowa. I mean, he's now the way Iowa and other programs normally do it is whoever's the backup quarterback, whoever is the veteran quarterback, whoever's there the year before, normally is the starter. They normally start the veterans before they go to the recruits. The recruits normally got to take the back burner before the veterans. Same with transfers. When the transfer comes in, they got to take a back seat. It's not an automatic start there at Iowa. That's how it works there at Iowa. That's what I heard. So, if you plan on going to Iowa, you better make sure that vacancy is open. You better make sure there's not a veteran in that spot. You better make sure it's an opening. And technically, here's the question for him that you got to ask if you're Kienholz. Do you stick around at Ohio State because Will Howard will be gone and fight for that position again next year? Try to see if you can actually compete for it. Or do you transfer to Iowa where you got to wait another year to see if you can actually fit in to that position, become a second string, where you're a second stringer for 1 year, and then you become the first string quarterback? Or do you actually go someplace where you're guaranteed a spot? I mean, that's literally what you're looking at here if you're Lincoln Kienholz, maybe. I mean, he literally didn't say he was transferring. He didn't even say, I'm not transferring. He never even said a word about transferring. But that's just something thrown out there. April 20th, that was thrown out there. When that's Iowa's spring game. When they have their spring game is the 20th. Now, anything is possible here at this point. Ohio State can have a very good game. They all can have fun. We'll just have to watch very closely about how it all pans out. Julian Sayin, a pretty daggone good passer. He can pass right in the and runner. He can do both. He runs and passes very well. I mean, Devin Brown, on the other hand, he hurt himself really badly in the Penn State game. That's another bad thing. I mean, he hurt himself pretty badly in the Penn State game. Now, other guys who transferred out, I mean, Kansas State transfer, Will Howard, and the Alabama transfer, Julian Sayin. There'll be some good talents there. But Lincoln Kienholz transfer, I'm not sure. about that. I'm not sure if he'll transfer this year or next. He might transfer next year, but I'm not sure about this year. But the transfer portal for football opens on April 16th, which is a week from yesterday. And it starts next week, but it would be a week which would be on Tuesday, April 16th. And that there tells you a lot. So it's going to have to come down to how it all operates and how it all goes through. I mean, you want it all to be successful. And the same goes with a lot of these other teams. I mean, Jack Tuttle and Alex Orji out of Michigan. Them two pretty much will fight for the starting position up there. I mean, Alex Orji, who's pretty much got another year, I think he's got another year of eligibility left. He played at Indiana for a good while, then he got injured and had to leave Indiana, left Indiana for Michigan. And then you have him, then Alex Orji, who just got recruited. And Michigan's also kind of got a quarterback problem, but Ohio State seems to be having more of a quarterback problem than Michigan does, because they're trying to figure out who will be a good starter, but Michigan's kind of doing the same thing, but they're kind of leaning more towards Orji right now at this point. But I could be wrong. They might get Tuttle as the quarterback. But right now, they're leaning more towards Orji by the way it looks. But Ohio State, that's still up in the air. It's either Howard, Brown, or Sane, from what I'm reading. It's one of them three. But I wouldn't put it past... But Aaron Nolan, he's probably got another year before he loses his stripe, by the way I'm viewing that. But I wouldn't put it past if Sane gets the starting job. I mean, he's put up good numbers. He can put up good passes. His passing is right on target, just like Devin Brown. He's got a good running form. He can run really well, but Devin Brown just keeps on getting hurt. That's his problem. He keeps getting hurt constantly. And if you can move and pass and if Devin Brown can actually stay healthy and pass the ball, he can easily win the starting job. That's what Devin Brown has over Sane right now. That's about the only thing he's got going for him right now. If he can stay healthy, is his health. If he can stay healthy and not get hurt, then he has it made. But if he doesn't, then that's where Julian Sane is the better pick. Because you gotta pick health over that. Now, you can easily put Devin Brown in at running back if you wanted to. I mean, you can do him in there as like a halfback, running back, as a quarterback draw type of thing, and put him there as a quarterback runner and make him do the pass. Mr. 33 would be in there. I mean, hell, I literally think he'd be a good quarterback. I literally like Devin Brown. That guy is a monster of a passer. I've seen him they showed pictures of him passing. He's right on target, just like Julian Sane. Now, if Sane and Brown can actually pass like they do, it would be a toss-up of who I would pick at quarterback. But I've yet to see Aaron Nolan really throw the ball. I've yet to see him throw, but from what I've seen, he can't. I actually did see him throw once, and it's pretty much kind of on target. Now, as of Will Howard, he can throw, but he's kind of like Kyle McCord. He's kind of on target sometimes, kind of not. But these two guys are right on target. I'm kind of impressed with these two. Now, we'll have to see how he performs. Let's see how Will Howard performs during the spring game. I mean, it might be a totally different ball game then. But Jeremiah Smith, the wide receiver, oh my gosh, he is a monster. Now, Julian Sane's kind of like, when a broken play happens, he's just like Justin Fields. He'll run when the play's broken, and he'll just run. Try to get a first down. Or try to gain yards. That's literally what he is like. He wants to make something happen out of the play. He does not want to take a sack. And he literally makes it happen. That's what he did in high school, and that's what he's trying to do. That's literally what he tries to do in practice. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but we'll just have to see how that works out when the real time comes around, if he does get the starting role, if not. But with that being said, hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications. With that being said, I'm out of here. And like and subscribe. And with that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.